Hey guys, welcome back to Banter Bets and BPL podcast. The boys had a huge week. We won a ton of money. Everyone in the positive, every single person on the podcast. And to celebrate, we've got a really special guest on this week. A guy who's coached us all, I think, at one point or another. And it's going to be great to get the analysis of an expert coach. So we're going to go right into Giovanni Petraglia. Gio, you coached me for many years. You coached Sandy, Keegan, Cam, like I said. Thanks a lot for coming on the podcast.
Hi, guys. That's my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Mm-hmm. And then let's say hi to the boys who won us some money last week. We got Coach Cam plus $21. Coach Cam, how did the week go, buddy?
Oh, it went exactly as planned. I actually had some work. I was working yesterday for school. I was online, but as my prof was talking, I had to mute her, and I definitely had to watch Everton play because it was the be all end all in that game, and I loved every second of it, and it won the boys a lot of money. I'm just super happy for the podcast.
Boys were all on Everton yesterday, and there were some sketchy moments in that game. There was like a triple clearance off the line, their backup goalie. It was craziness, but we did survive. Yeah. And we got Sandy here with plus 55 beside his name. Is that real life, Sandy? How'd you do it? You're back down to inside negative 100.
This is real, boys. I've been sandbagging the whole world for a while here, but yeah, I was watching that Everton game, and I was just so thankful Pickford wasn't playing. I was like, okay, we got a decent goalie here to see this one out for us. But it was definitely some sweaty moments. Cam tried claiming victory when he got his cash out in his
the early pay.
Cam almost jinxed us.
Yeah, as we know, we don't take those kind of victories.
It was a reverse psychology. Don't worry.
But yeah, I mean, I could have been even more positive. The only bet I lost all week was West Brom. West Brom just can't go their own way. Yeah. And so it could have been even a bigger number there for me.
Brother Keegs, the expected goals Prince added again. He's up to negative $18. A huge week for him. What were you, plus 40 something?
45 something. Yeah, I think I just missed one bet as well, and it was what was it? Arsenal first game. I'm not sure what happened there, but I don't think I actually got to that game, but everything I saw worked out well. So it was a good week. Hopefully we'll get to a positive next week.
Yep, absolutely. And we're gonna win some more money for the listeners this week. But we're gonna dive in a little bit now to Coach Gio. Why don't you tell us? You're obviously from Italy. Why don't you tell us about your grassroots in the game of soccer, and why you started watching, how you got so passionate. Maybe a little bit about your playing career, and then as a coach.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know. How much time do we have? How I start? Well, that's what I did all my life. I mean, I can't remember my life without this game. How I got in love with the game probably was with one of my friends. Now is one of my best friends, but it was my neighbor at the time, and I was probably, I don't know, 5 years old or so, and he was always playing outside on the street. I started to get involved, play with him. He was of course a little bit older, and then I get in love with the game. Since then, I don't remember my life without this game. It's always been my life: playing, coaching, watching. My hobby is my job, so I don't know. I mean, that's everything. That's everything for me. I played in Italy as an amateur, semi-professional at the highest point of my career, but I could never go past that. I wasn't good enough for many reasons, mainly physically. Not strong enough, not quick enough. But at my level, I had a pretty good career. I enjoyed. I won some important trophies for our levels, for our in my province, in my regions. Then, I mean, when I was probably teenagers, I would say, yeah, between 15 and 17, 18, I start to realize that I was getting in love with the game even more. I wanted to coach. So I was very focused all the time when my coach was talking about the game on the session, on the game time, and I start to see the game in a different ways. And I decided that that's what I wanted to do in my life. Then I got my first license when I was about 25, I think, 24, 25 in Italy, and I decided it was going to be my life. So I started to coach in Italy with my club, with the youth club. Then I thought that my career could have a better um, uh, a better
Opportunity.
better opportunities, but yeah, a little bit, could have speed up a little bit if I would go out of Italy because I was young, and I decided to start to send my resume around the world, basically, especially in North America, because I knew that the game was new. Meanwhile, I went to England because I wanted to learn the language because of what was my goal. But when I went to England, I lived in Brighton for 2 months, but I didn't have time to actually find my language course, because as soon as I got there, I started to get in touch with few clubs, and one club was more interested in the other ones, and was Thunder Bay Chill. And of course, I didn't know where Thunder Bay was. I had to go see on the map. And Tony was professional for the minute one. And Tony is, of course, is the president and the owner and the founder of the club. And at the time, they were looking for an assistant coach for the USL2 PDL at the time. And a coach that could be the assistant and could be coaching on the youth system as well. So I flew from London, from Brighton, here to Thunder Bay. It was April. It was snowing, of course. And then just to see if me and the club will match. And after a month, if I recall, after a month, I signed the contract, and then my life changed. I thought it would be an experience, a shorter experience, a couple of years, but then things evolved. I became the head coach. After a few years, I became the technical director. So now I'm here it's 9 years that I'm with this club. And I mean, that's my second family by now. So it's not a club anymore. It's my Canadian family. So that's my story. I learned English while I was here. My teachers were Sav and Tony. And yeah, this is my story and overall.
And Marco taught you how to play Briscola, right?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, well, Marco, he became a good player after a while, but yeah, at the beginning he was struggling, I remember. But then he became smarter. Actually, Briscoe is a good game. Scope as well. They're all game you have to think, and at the beginning always there is a struggle.
All right, wonderful. All right, so I think we'll get into taking a look at the Premier League games now. I know I've got some questions I'm going to try to work in from a coaching perspective for you, Gio, and then Keegan, Sandy, and Cam. Let's discuss these games and what we might see this weekend. All right, so boys, Arsenal, Aston Villa. Now, Coach, I know we've seen David Luiz get many red cards. He got another one this week, and he's a little bit famous for that. And he's always struck me as a bit of a tough player to manage. So I was wondering, who is the toughest player that you've ever managed, in Thunder Bay? And maybe it's not for the same reason as David Luiz is tough to manage, because he's tough to manage because you never know if you're getting a 0 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But who are maybe one or two players? I was thinking maybe one from when you coached our reserve team, and one from all the Thunder Bay Chill, PDL, and USL2 teams you've coached that have been difficult to handle for one reason or another.
Well, yeah, there always going to be players tough to manage. It is part of the job. Well, I don't think I'm gonna name anybody, because it is something that I would like not to share. But yes. Mostly with USL2 teams, we had I probably had one player that gave me hard time. He was very talented, but he was tough to manage. And at some point, he gave the team a hard time. So we had to make, when I say we, it's me and Stefano, mainly Stefano has been my assistant coach since I became the head coach, but Tony always involved on decision as well, always willing to share opinions. So we had to make some a big decision, but I believe it's normal with in any club at any level to have sometimes players that can give you some hard time on the locker room. Of course, if the players has got no talent, the discussion is over after 5 minutes. But sometimes when there is somebody that could give you something on the field, then you have to try to find the right balance. For the youth, it's totally different story. I don't really recall big issues. Yeah, it's a situation and with players that, of course, thought to be better of what they actually were. But again, there's a common things there as well. Within the youth system, I don't actually recall a big issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. I had to start off with a tough question, put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I cannot. I will prefer not to share names, but I hope that the picture was clear.
Yeah.
You don't want the coach on there bashing his former players is a bad look for trying to attract some talent, right?
Very true.
You gotta keep that stuff close to the chest.
Yeah, diplomatic answer. Respect.
And we're just a bunch of angels on our youth teams, I guess. So, well, I mean,
Exactly.
Easy to coach us.
Maybe a few temperamental players, but we don't need to bring names up.
Yeah. So I know you're sticking with Gio. I know you're obviously an Italian fan of Italian soccer, but I'm sure you've watched some Premier League. Do you have a favorite all-time Arsenal player?
Wow, favorite all-time Arsenal player. The favorite all-time, of course, I like Beckham. He played. I mean, I'm an Inter Milan fan, and Beckham came to Inter Milan before to go to Arsenal, and he wasn't very lucky when he came to play for Inter Milan, but he's always been very talented, you could tell. So when he went to Arsenal, I enjoyed watching him even more than when he was in Inter. Mm-hmm. But probably if I have to say a name, I will say Ian Bright. He was a striker from roughly the same period, probably even a couple years before, and I used to love watching play. He was a natural goal scorer, a good player. I will say Bright.
Very nice. All right.
I would have guessed Henri based on how you like to curl those back post balls, Gio. Maybe it's like a French Italy thing. It's too the geographical proximity is too tough there.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't say what did you say?
It might be tough to cheer for a French player being from Italy, right? There's a little too much of a rivalry there.
For a French player, I mean, we don't hate anybody, but there is somebody we don't like. And yeah, certainly French can be in that category. But yeah, I don't know if you talked about Henri or But I enjoy to watch. I enjoy to watch Bright more. Let's put it that way.
Well, the way you used to shoot on Sandy in pregame warms up was kind of like Henri, curling the ball past him every single time. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he. I couldn't find a better way to get him ready before the game. But I always enjoyed Coach Sandy. He was I don't know if you still playing, but he was a very solid goalkeeper. And I believe we won a couple tournaments together too. No.
yeah,
Yeah, a couple of USA. Well, at least probably the one USA Cup.
USA Cup penalties.
Good run, yeah.
Indoor, you never play indoor with us? You never
Yeah.
played indoor with-
Some years. I never won an Ontario Cup indoor though, or outdoor actually. I was a little snake bit in that regard during my tenure.
Yeah. I remember.
We lost a couple
remember
heartbreakers for sure. But we never really close in outdoor Ontario Cup. But indoor Ontario Cup, we kept losing. I don't know, like quarterfinals.
I think we won close. We won close 1 year. We lost the semifinal like with 30 seconds to go. No.
Yeah, we did.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a 2-on-1, and yeah, they slid.
Oh, yeah.
over. I remember the goal still.
And 1 year we lost.
Mike
When we lost
Jensen gave the ball away.
Oh, you might be on the list of difficult, temperamental players, but we're like Mike, so it's all right. And there's a year we lost in a shootout one of those years too. I think Manzini missed a bad pen. I don't know.
Yeah, a couple of us missed pens. I've missed a pen for
You missed pen
Leo
too.
in Ontario Cup as well, outdoor. I think it was UN Stefano, or it might have been Stefano at that point, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall a lot of the PK outdoor, so probably it was Stefan. Yeah.
You definitely coached a lot of games. We've played in a lot less, so we can kind of remember them a little better.
Yeah. Sandy, while we're with you, we've got Aston Villa at home, and they're so close to being favored against Arsenal. Do you believe in Aston Villa this much to back them against Arsenal, or what is this for you?
I have no idea, man. That last game from Aston Villa is a little bit of a stinker. Or is West Ham that good? I don't know. The jury's still out, maybe. This is, I got my eyes out for the Emilio Martinez revenge game, so we like to keep an eye out for those. Arsenal's probably wish they didn't sell him at this point. I don't know who's gonna get the start between the sticks there. Is it gonna be Matt Ryan or who's our boy Runnerson or whatever? Is that his name? Runnerson?
Runnerson, yeah.
Runarsson.
Runarsson. So that's a little concerning for Arsenal. Yeah, it's just tough to put a finger on what you get from Villa every week, but I don't know. We like looking for the bounce back, so you get a good bounce back opportunity here for Villa. They don't lose 2 in a row too often.
Coach Cam, I know you mentioned in our group chat that we failed to consider the stupid 11 when betting on Arsenal last week.
We did.
And then David Luiz went out and got a red card, although it was one of his least stupid red cards. And I think they actually already rescinded the ban.
I don't think so. I'm pretty
no?
sure his was upheld. Yeah.
Oh, Bednarek's was the one that was rescinded.
But yeah, that sounds more like it.
Yeah. What do you think, Cam? Is Arsenal too tough to trust away from home here?
Yeah, I think that I would personally be going with Aston Villa here. They're going to have to throw in Gabriel, probably would have to throw in. When was the last time Gabriel even played? Keegan, do you know that? Because you had him for a little bit.
Well, it was before Christmas, and then he kind of got injured, and then had COVID for a little bit. But I don't think that's a bad fallback option. You look pretty.
No, I just feel like the lack of game time and maybe some preparation, I think that can hurt them. And then it's always tough. Usually your back four is dependent on the communication and leadership skills from your keeper, and having Berlino as being one of their better outfield players in terms of leadership and being in net. It's a big loss to have him out too. So I just think that Arsenal may be a little shakier than usual in the back. I think Kieran Tierney's still out too. I'm personally going to be going with Aston Villa on this one.
All right, fair enough. Yep, should be a good game
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Burnley and Brighton. A little bit of clash of styles here. Brother Keegs, you want to show Brighton some more love? Because I know you're waiting to toot your expected goals horn, and they have been high in expected goals, and we've been waiting for their luck to turn around. Is this the start of something special?
Well, I don't know. I've been saying that they've been a quality team forever, and I mean, I guess they proved it. I'm kicking myself for not. I bet them to beat Spurs. I didn't bet the Liverpool game. I didn't bet Liverpool either because I never bet against Brighton. But unfortunately, I didn't bet for them that week, and that would have been another great win for us. Unfortunately, didn't turn out to happen. But I mean, in a spot against Burnley, who are kind of the opposite kind of team, always kind of hover in the bottom two for expected goals on the expected goals table. So I don't know. I think I'm going to pretty confidently. Well, I'll take Brighton above even money here pretty confidently, and I guess we'll just. I don't know. They've been known to. I wouldn't be surprised coming off 2 historic wins for them if they took their foot off the gas a little bit. But I don't really bet based on that. I bet on expected goals, so I'll be riding with Brighton easily.
There you go.
I was gonna say this isn't expected goals off here. Not that Burnley scores too much, but I imagine they're, like Keegan said, their expected goals are criminally low. Whereas Brighton is another enigma in the expected goals department, where they tend to underscore their expected goals. Do you have a thought on expected goals, Gio? The advanced analytics of soccer. They implemented those in the Thunder Bay Chill PDL ranks yet? Is Keegan gonna be doing that this summer?
Not yet, but yeah, now it's data is important and the statistics are important, so they're all over the place. Not with us yet. We probably will when we go back in 2022.
Yeah. So, Coach, you said you were in Brighton for a couple months. Does that mean Brighton's your favorite English team, or do you have a favorite English team?
No. I used to like Nottingham Forest. But now they're not in Premier League for many years. Probably from the 90s was the last time they were in Premier League. At Brighton, I was lived barely 2 months. I didn't have a chance to go watch them play, and they were still in second division at the time in Championship. But no, it is not my favorite player, my favorite team in Premier League. I used to like Aston Villa, for example. But yeah, probably between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, the 2 teams that I used to like the most in England.
Very nice, very nice. So, last question on this game for Coach Cam: are you having seller's remorse after gifting me Trossard in fantasy yet?
Oh gosh, not yet. Still,
Not yet.
I was going to ask you the same question for Riyad Mahrez, but
Nope.
okay, well, that's fine with me because I'm happy with shipping off Leandro Trossard for Riyad Mahrez.
Enough. Yeah, I don't know. Should be an interesting clash of styles. I could see Brighton doing exactly what you said, Keegan, winning against Tottenham, winning against Liverpool, and Burnley being one step too far for them. I also wanted to make a note. Sandy had said Burnley's XG is criminally low. And yeah, it's criminally low, but it's not so criminal. All right, moving on. We got Newcastle at home to Southampton. Oh my goodness. 9-0. Southampton, second season in a row, losing 9-0. Coach, what do you say to a team to get them fired up for a game? What do you say to them after the 9-0 game in the dressing room, first of all, actually?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I ever lost 9-0 with the senior. I have lost 20-0 with 20 or more with my U11, I believe. One year in US. We played against like a South American team or whatever, and we lost more than 20. But they were kids, so it was even worse. I never lost 9-0 with the senior team. I don't know. I don't think there will be much to say. I just do not believe they probably spoke after the game. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I hope to don't find myself in that situation ever. What I think though, I think that now this game is gonna be a game where they're gonna be a little bit scared to lose. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a tie.
Yeah, I agree. You think they've been, not much time to train with games in midweek, but they would have been working on defensive stuff in training, surely, right?
Well, probably they didn't have time to have one training session. They probably just analyzed the game with videos and probably just analyze the opponent, prepare the game the day before, and probably they didn't have time. Well, what day do they play? They play Saturday or Sunday?
No, they played, what did they play, Wednesday or Tuesday, guys?
Wednesday.
No, I'm saying next game. It's this game
Oh, yeah,
coming up.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, so probably they have one training session and they probably just prepare the game. So based on what they saw in the analyzing Newcastle, they probably just prepared the game. So I don't believe they had much time to actually work on what didn't work on the previous game.
You wouldn't get him on the field the next day doing suicide. Is that not the modern philosophy? Is that a little outdated, maybe?
Have them running sprints, Gio?
Have him run sprints next day.
Well, it was for me.
Oh.
Yeah, would you? Sandy's asking why you wouldn't have the team on the training pitch the next morning running sprints from one end to the other.
Oh well, no. I mean, I don't think there are coaches that do that. They do this kind of stuff anymore. After the game, they probably just had recovery. Then probably they were off today. Assuming tomorrow they will prepare the game and without the possibility to do anything physically because of the game coming up on Saturday. So they will be even more suicidal to do something that physically they cannot sustain. And then nowadays everything is controlled by workload, by GPS, by tests that they do in the morning. Probably many of them they couldn't even train, and they just. My assumption is that they did the majority of the work on the video analysis room these couple days.
So my question would then be, has the technology made players too soft?
Probably. Yeah.
So
right,
I'm thinking with that situation where Gio's saying lost 20-0 to a South American team, it might have been one of those bench warmer situations. You might need to check the passports in that one, check the birth certificates.
Yeah.
A couple
Honestly.
of the IM12 is written in crayon or something like that, or what are we looking at here?
No kidding. Yeah. Are you sure they didn't have any? Santos reserve players, maybe.
Well, in our case, I believe, if I recall, that the team was suspended because they were older.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I think it was the case, but still, I don't believe it's proper to win a game with 11 years old with 20-0. As a coach, we can find ways to avoid to score 20 goals, I believe.
Yeah, I think so as well. Brother Keegs, Southampton, they've lost 2 seasons in a row, 9-0. Is this just a regular thing now? I mean, last time they did it, they went on a pretty good run and actually did better. So do you expect them to bounce back here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the way they play a pretty high line. I think they always run the risk every time they come up against a team with the caliber of United. They run the risk of a bit of a trouncing. So I don't know. I think it's something that they shook it off last year. I think they'll be able to shake it off again and keep going.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. So shifting to Newcastle, and this one's for you, Coach. So Steve Bruce took over from Rafa Benitez, who is he was loved by the Newcastle fans. They loved having Rafa there, and Steve Bruce has gone in after a guy that's loved. So you took over coaching Thunder Bay Chill from, as you said, Tony Calistro, team president, club founder, the only coach they've ever known. How did you approach the situation, and how did you win over the fans and the players after taking over from such a legend in Tony?
Well, I believe our situation is a unique situation. Tony was the only coach before me. It was not just a founder, and it was the only one. So for him as well, kind of even for him to kind of evaluate or compare my job, it was challenging for him as well, because he didn't have anybody else but himself to compare to. And of course, it's never easy to compare people with yourself, or the job that you were doing with the job that you did before. So it was a unique situation for me, coming after the only coach ever of the club, which happened to be the founder, the owner as well. And for him too, to become president and for the first time after, and the previous coach was himself. So it was tough for him too. And the first year was it was interesting because he was still very caught into the game, and he was still fresh on coming out of the coaching, and I was very young, so it was a transition. Was a year of transition. Constantly talking to him, he's always been very present, and I'm very fortunate that I found this club. I'm very fortunate that I came after him, because I learned so much from him. I'm still learning right now from many aspects. Of course, we're two different persons, and we cannot have the same ideas on everything. But the fact that I assisted him for the first 3 years of my career here in Thunder Bay, and then being under him as a coach and president, he improved me so much. And I know that I'm going to bring this experience with me for all my career. So our situation is very unique, different than Newcastle, and I bet different from any other club. But the key was him. The key was him. He helped the transition with the players. He helped the transition with the club. He helped the transition with the fans, and of course was something. I was honored to be the one that he chose to the transition. So tough to compare again, but my situation was unique.
So you're saying that Newcastle needs to hire Tony as a club director and owner?
Tony will be an excellent club director owner in any Premier League team. Tony is in Canadian and North American soccer in general is hands down one of the best manager of running a club. Now, I saw many clubs here in North America, the youth level, at the semi-professional level, some clubs at the professional level. Tony, with his personality, with his knowledge, he won't have any problem on being in charge of any on any professional team in North America, but even overseas. The problem is that Chill is his own baby, and there is no Newcastle, no Southampton, or no Manchester United for him, and he will always be happy to bring this club and represent this town at the highest level possible.
Fair enough. I'm sure Newcastle would welcome him with open arms if that meant getting rid of their current owner. So
absolutely, and if you speak with him, you should invite him one day. He will tell you a story about when he met Alan Shearer. And so yeah, they will have Newcastle and Tony. They have a friend in common, Alan Shearer.
Well, boys, maybe if we win enough money off this betting podcast, we can buy Newcastle. We'll hire
exactly
director. We can have Gio as head coach. Cam can be assistant, and me, Sandy, and Keegan can be analytics with expected goals. Sandy, goalkeeper coach, and I'll just be a fan in the press.
Commentator.
Yeah.
I'll be the commentator. Yeah, there you go.
I don't want the responsibility. I just want to hang out with the local toonies.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could be the guy in the pub.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Fair enough. Moving on. Fulham, West Ham. Cam, Fulham for not Fulham for Fulham for championship. West Ham for Champions League.
Oh God, no.
No, why not?
No way.
Why.
I don't. I think that there's higher caliber teams in the Premier League than West Ham. Is West Ham fifth? Is West Ham fifth right now?
Yeah, right. Fourth, I think.
Fourth? Are they
No
fourth
lower
now?
than fourth.
Out of Liverpool, aren't they now?
For sure.
Oh yeah, because Liverpool lost. I think that it's just it's not sustainable. The West Ham's being able to compete at the same level as what we deem the big six clubs. We're just really shifting into the big eight clubs now. A lot of people are saying, but I just think they'll have the sustainability to compete for the next 16 games, the last 60 games of the season. And yeah, I don't think their club has, or their team has the depth either. I think they really rely on Antonio and, for example, players like Aaron Cresswell as well and Fabianski. They're very dependent on those type of players in the team that don't have that many, I guess, players that are able to bring in or rotate with that they can depend on if these players become injured, like Antonio, for example. So, yeah, I think that big teams like United, Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Liverpool will eventually will catch up to West Ham, and West Ham I believe are going to slip, and this might be the first game to do so because I favor Fulham more than West Ham in this game.
Fair enough.
I have a couple comments there. I think you mentioned Cresswell as their second most important player.
I know. Oh, whoa! Time out. I never said most important player. He's in a position. His position on the field.
Oh, okay.
It's hard. He plays like that in the back three. He'll play like that left center back position. He's also their set piece taker, and I don't think that there's other players that are able to whip the ball as good as he can with his left foot.
Left backs are important, absolutely.
And they had Masuaku who got injured, so they don't have that much depth there.
Isn't Antonio just back from injury, missing a couple games, and they're obviously still in the position they are in?
Yeah.
Did they sign a backup striker? Didn't they sign? Did they sign someone? No.
I have no idea.
They sold Haller. I think it's a little disingenuous to call it a top 8. It's like a big 2 at this point, and then like a cluster of like 4 or 5. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, it's like the big. Yeah, I guess it's always been in terms of financial power.
So it's kind of like Messi, Ronaldo, and then the next tier under that.
kind of
like that. Okay.
At the current moment.
Yeah.
But I guess it's always in terms of financial power when we're referring to that, right?
Yeah.
That's why we call it the big 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam says cream always rises to the top. So, and they are in 5th right now. Just checked to make sure they haven't passed Liverpool. And they might not make Champions League, but will they win this game, Sandy? Surely they beat Fulham.
Yeah, I imagine so. I don't know. West Ham's got the looks of a good team right now. They're playing stout. Somehow they're keeping clean sheets. They got one of the better defensive records in the league, I think. You can probably fact check me on that, but
Ogbonna,
yeah,
Cresswell and Kufal and
Craig Dawson. It makes no sense, but I don't know. They got things well drilled. Obviously, a good manager. He's got them playing solid defensively, and they got some game breakers up front. A couple good midfielders. They got the makings of a good team.
Brother Keegs, Fulham, kiss them goodbye or what?
Yeah.
All right. Straight and to the point. Simple enough. See you later, Fulham. Brother Keegs says so. All right. Manchester United at home to Everton. United coming off a 9-0 win. Oh boy, haven't seen them score that many goals and that freely in a long time. It was awesome to see. Everton also coming off a big win. Brother Keegs, what do you think here? Manchester United always has trouble with Everton, it seems. Is this reverse? Like after 9-0, you'd think they'd kick on, but is this a banana skin, as they say?
I don't know. It's definitely tough to put my finger on. I think the possibility exists for United to obviously keep rolling, but as well for United to kind of kind of ease up and have some trouble with Everton like they do. Everton obviously had a big win as well. So I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. I'll probably be passion betting United here in a chalk parlay, but maybe a little scared, just a little bit.
So are you United fans happy with a 9-0 rout, or are you a little nervous? Do you take more the approach that, all right, like if we're scoring 9 goals, that means our offense is clicking, or are you thinking more so we only got so many goals to score, why waste them all in this one game? What's the thought process there, boys?
I'm happy, but I do think with this United team, they're young and they're a little bit naive, and they're the type of team that after a huge result, they think they're on top of the world and their egos are inflated, and they go out against a Sheffield United and they lose. And I think there's a little bit of danger with that type of thing with this not quite mature United squad that's not, I don't think, quite ready to challenge for league titles for that reason.
At least they got rid of Lingard. That's one young guy who would be out there probably dancing the clubhouse after the game.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have a few pints with the boys later on. Did we talk about Lingard at all? We didn't even mention Lingard in his big debut.
You want to shout out Lingard?
I don't know. I didn't really watch the game, so I don't know. Was he balling out, or if there were a couple of tap-ins? I saw he scored a decent goal. His second goal was pretty nice. Could ask some questions of Martinez in that one, but took it down nicely. And I don't know. Was he decent? I watched the game.
I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Lingard. I thought he was unfairly hated on when he was at Manchester United, and it started to go bad under Van Gaal at first, and then Mourinho, especially with Mourinho, he was kind of the scapegoat, Lingard. And I've always thought he's a good player, so it's nice to see him doing well there, and hopefully he keeps it going. Been through some hard times, so it's good to see him having fun again.
Yeah, he's always one to take on a shot outside the box. He's never really lacking confidence, is he?
Yeah, absolutely. On the Everton side of things, Coach, are you a fan of Carlo Ancelotti as a manager? Or he was AC Milan, so I know that's the wrong side of Milan for you, but what do you think of him?
Well, Ancelotti coached both Milan and Juventus, so he was twice on the wrong side. But yes, it's certainly a manager to take notes from. He's been successful everywhere, being successful in every single country he coached, which is no easy to do, and he's hands down one of the best managers of this game ever. So there are many things that I actually get from him. I try to get from him, especially his ability to relate with the players on a different way than the majority of the managers do. It's certainly something that there is to learn from.
Fair enough. Do you have a favorite all-time Manchester United player?
Well, of course, Cantona was a big icon at the time, and he was very close to come to play for Inter as well. When Moratti took over the club, and then Inter couldn't close the deal, and then a couple months later they got Ronaldo. Sorry, a couple years later they got Ronaldo from PSV, from Barcelona. But I always been a big fan of Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs was a player with superior intelligence of the average of players on the field. So I always been a fan of Giggs, of his intelligence while he was playing football. So if I have to say a name, I will probably say Giggs.
They're kind of like you, smartest player on the field.
Yes, very similar. Yeah.
Love it. All right. So moving on, we got, and these are two coaches I kind of wanted to ask you about, because I know that you're a fan of Mourinho, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a fan of Mourinho because he, for two reasons, because he's a great manager, and because he was the manager of Inter of the biggest day of the Inter history. So,
is he Is he still a great manager? Have you been following him at Tottenham? And I know he was certainly a great manager. Do you think he still is?
Yes, I think he still is, and I think he will find the way to be successful at Tottenham. I believe he found a club that will give him some time, and I believe that he will win the league in the next couple of years. His specialty is to find solution. Is not attached on any philosophy. He's obsessed in find solution to succeed, and I believe that if he found a club which I believe they will give him some time to work, and in a couple of years he will find the way to put together a squad that will compete for the title. That's my that's what I think. We'll see what was going to happen, but I believe that's what he's going to achieve.
That's bold. So I know you just said you took some stuff from Ancelotti. I'm certain you took some stuff from Mourinho too, especially because I always thought a lot of your pregame speeches were awesome, and you'd have me ready to run through a brick wall. And you seemed to. I remember one Ontario Cup game in particularly when a lot of things were going against us. I think we had to wake up early, the change rooms weren't ready, and it was like and the ref was against us, and you use that. And Mourinho does the same thing, right? He creates a narrative through his interviews, through his team talks, where the whole world's against us. Is that something that you took from him?
Well, I don't know if I took it from him. I mean, it's the pre-game speech. It's always to me, it's an important part of the game. It's just as important as everything else you plan for the game. And of course, higher the level is, and more important it becomes, because sometimes it can make a difference to even to win or lose the game. So. To me, it's important to prepare the pre-game speech as well. I don't know if I took it from him. I don't think so, because I never assisted Mourinho pre-game talk. I know now there is this. Actually, now there is the show, but I didn't watch it yet. But I will certainly take a look, because I believe there is something to learn. But for sure, again, I told you before, what I admire him the most is the solution finder, and so that's the thing that I like the most about Mourinho. And about the game talk, I don't know. It's probably just a similarity, but I don't know. Again, I never witnessed Mourinho's pre-game talk. I don't know if you did, but I did not. So, but it's certainly one of the manager that made me wanted to be a manager even more. No doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. I was going to say, okay, well, I guess we'll move on to the West Brom side. So West Brom, Sam Allardyce took the job. I thought he was doomed from the start. He's never been relegated from the Premier League. Would you have taken the West Brom job, coach?
Well, it's in my condition, yes, of course, because it's something that could always give you. I mean, when I say my condition, I mean in a perspective of a young manager, yes, because it could be the opportunity to change your career. So I believe any young manager at that level, of course, the Premier League manager level, of course, will take the job. If Allardyce took the job, which is obviously not a young manager, he took the job because he believed he can deliver it, and coach with his experience evaluate what job to take. He's been in the game, on the Premier League game for so many years, so I'm sure he went over circumstances before to accept. Those people have the experience to make those decisions.
Fair enough. Thank you. Well, about the game, Tottenham West Brom. Tottenham have looked horrible lately, boys. Coach Cam, do they score a goal in this game? Or they find like West Brom has been gifting goals to teams, so surely they score.
Yeah, I really believe that they're going to score here. I think that they've got a couple games without scoring that their dual goal. I don't think it's going to be Carlos Vinicius after I saw his miss today.
Not the answer.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Heung-min Son gets himself on the score sheet, or even Lucas Moura. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Lucas Moura starts this game on the weekend, because I thought when he came on, he was really influential. So, and they need some form of boost, Tottenham, and I think that he can provide.
Fair enough. Sandy, Brother Keegs, any thoughts on this game?
I just think it boils down to the fact that West Brom are just the worst team in the league, so it's usually pretty safe to bet against them.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think that's a good call. One more on this one, Coach. So I know that when I remember a lot of, and obviously I was a defender, but we would train hard 6v4, defending, and we did a lot of that. And I always felt like defending is something that you can really work on. But it felt like to me it's a lot harder to coach attacking. And a team like Tottenham, who has not been able to score goals, what kind of stuff should they be doing in training? And how do you teach a team to attack well and score goals? Seems hard.
It is hard, but everything is hard. I believe at the end, ultimately, is the quality of the players. The goal of the coach should be to put talking about the attacking phase of the possession phase, is to put the players in condition to use their quality, their creativity at the best condition possible. So, I'm sure that Mourinho is working on it right now, and again, he will find solution to succeed as well. But of course, the quality of the players becomes more important on the attacking phase that on the phase when you don't have the ball, because when you don't have the ball, there are so many other aspects that come in place. Even if the quality is not excellent, you can always find solution to defend well. When you have the ball and the level is high, like Premier League, you need quality, and ultimately that's what decide if you are the team that you're going to win or not, in my opinion. So of course, I'm not in the position to say what Mourinho should do. What I can say is that he will find a solution.
Fair enough. So I guess we'll move on. We got Wolves and Leicester. And these are kind of two teams that are, when you say top 8, Cam, I guess these would be two of the contenders to kind of be breaking into that top 6 and maybe make it a top 8, right? Especially Leicester with their title win in recent years and Champions League pushes for the last year and this year. I guess those would be two of the teams you're talking about, right?
Yeah, Leicester was definitely one. The first one that popped in my mind when I wanted to mention the top 8. Only because we thought of the top 6 as the big 6 based on club size and the amount of money they accumulate in finances. But now I was kind of shifting towards, well, we have the top 6 in terms of club value, but I believe teams like Leicester are becoming better performance-wise than teams like Arsenal or teams like Tottenham. Definitely in a season like right this season. So that's why I kind of shifted in that big 8 or that top 8. Based on performance. I think Leicester's in there. Wolves would probably be in there maybe last season. This season they've struggled a lot, so I'm not really sure where I place them. This Raul Jimenez has really put a huge stop on their goal scoring abilities, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%. So if you like Leicester, this is a pretty good number. You think they win this game?
Yes, I think so. And I actually thought they looked pretty good. I think James Maddison's really finding form as well. And it's great to see, because I think that besides Jimmy Vardy, he's their next best player.
Really good. Sandy, you still have Nacho on your team?
Still riding with him, yeah. It's happy to see him get a start. Yeah, we'll see if that keeps rolling. I don't know. Gio's talking about quality players. You probably want a quality guy leading the line. I'm not sure he's exactly what you're looking for up there when you've got I don't know. They got legit players behind him, but I don't think he's really what you're looking for as a talisman. But you know, if they're desperate for someone to slot up there, we'll do that for you, I guess.
All right. Yeah. Well, Keegan, you got anything on this game, or should we move on to the big one?
Just about Vardy. I think I don't think he's been ruled out for this game, but I think he's a doubt. So I'm personally betting Leicester. But then if I hear before the game starts that Vardy's out of it, then I can try and hopefully cash out. So
Quicker than the bookie. That's tough. All right. Well, let's move on to the mammoth game of the weekend, and maybe not quite as big as we would have expected at the start of the season, because Liverpool is not quite in the title race. But Liverpool, Man City, it's been important games in recent years, and I know as a Manchester United fan, I'm going to be pulling hard for Liverpool in this one to try and keep us in the title race. Is it even a title race, Coach Cam, or is it already over?
It'd be naive for me to say it's already over. It's definitely a title race. I think in the next 2 to 5 weeks, then we can start saying it's over, especially if United drop points to teams like Everton. And in the future, and Man City are just in amazing form. Every time I turn the TV on, they just put such a smile on my face with what they've done defensively. Pep's done such a great job bringing in Ruben Diaz, reinventing John Stones. And seeing City at plus money, this must have been the easiest bet I think I've ever made on the podcast, was Manchester City to win.
Wow, there you go. That's a confident Manchester City fan, and he has every right to be at the moment. Sandy, should we just be betting Man City to win to 0 every single week until further notice?
Yeah, I mean, I was on that last week. What made a good profit last week? I'm probably not going to do that personally, as I will be cheering against Man City, and I tend to let my personal biases influence my bets just a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So I won't be doing that. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the sharp thing to do. You see a team that's winning a lot, not seeing a lot of goals, put 2 and 2 together. It's not hard.
Betting isn't hard, exactly. Now, Keegs, in our group chat, we've been going out a little bit about Manchester City and their preferred formation and starters. Gabriel Jesus is a striker who opinions are up and down on him. He scored 2 games in a row. Does he start this game? Does Pep trust him with this big game, or is this a false 9 scenario? What do you think?
I'm not sure why you asked me this question. I definitely don't really pride myself with my knowledge on the intricacies of city's setup. So I wouldn't say I'm super reliable for my answer on this, but I'd say so. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not.
You think they start Jesus?
Yeah.
All right, sound real confident. So I guess we'll look forward to him starting and scoring.
Boys.
Yeah.
Bet on Jesus. No void.
Yeah. Coach, Liverpool been probably the best team in the world the last couple of years. Starting to slip a little bit. Obviously, Klopp's a great coach. Is it just kind of indicative of how hard it is to stay on top? Or what do you think about the dynamic at play there?
Well, I mean, first thing is when you play on the top level, like Premier League, like Champions League all the time, you cannot expect to win all the time because the quality is so high. Like if a club like Manchester City stay too long without winning, Manchester United stay too long without winning, never mention Arsenal because now it's too long that they're not up there. Same thing in Europe. I mean, when a club like Barcelona, or Real Madrid, or Bayern Munich, although they won last year, those big clubs, Inter Milan, I won't mention any other club in Italy. I mean, those clubs, if of course there is one club that wins, there are 6 or 7 top clubs that don't win. So it is not at the highest level. It's not possible to win all the time. So I wouldn't say that Liverpool is dropping the level on the last year or so. I'll say it's normal, physiological. Up top of it, maybe is a little thing. I don't know how much influence can have. It's an influence that every club is having, has to deal on the last year. So for any club, don't have the fans at the stadium is tough, but probably Liverpool is the club that's suffering the most in Premier League because it's actually an important part of the club having the Anfield full when they play. It could be a little factor as well. But overall, I believe Liverpool is still one of the top clubs in Europe, and if he's not going to win this year, he's going to be on the race next year again.
Yeah. All righty. Who do you think wins this game, Coach?
Again, if we're in normal condition with the Anfield full, I will say Liverpool. But I will go with City this time.
All right. Keegs, Sandy, Cam, what do you get? Oh, Cam obviously thinks City. What do you guys think? Sandy, Keegan?
Tough to bet against him right now. I don't know, man. Liverpool just look a little spineless, a little toothless in attack right now. Maybe they need Jota back. Maybe our boy Kieran was on the ball, and he's the what do they say? He's the straw that stirs the drink up there right now. That's what they need.
All right. All right, let's get through these last couple games here of the week. Sheffield United at home to Chelsea. Gio, do you have any thoughts on Thomas Tuchel? He's obviously been at a couple big clubs. He's had a decent start at Chelsea now. Is he a coach you rate as well?
Yes, well, of course, to coach at the level and all big clubs, you have to be good. He did well at PSG, I think. I'm sorry for Lambert because I am maybe because I am a coach, but I'm generally speaking against the firing the coach. I believe it's often, not all the time, but often a mistake. Especially with teams that are fighting to not be relegated, the 90% of the time they fire the coach, they finish to be relegated, but they have to pay 2 salaries.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I will say that if you as a management decide to hire a coach and the coach is not successful, part of the responsibility is yours as well. So I believe he has a chain effect, especially in Italy, but now in all over the place. When you fire a coach too often, it doesn't help the game. In Italy, for example, the coaches lose the job sometimes after 3 games, 4 games. So the coaching coming in doesn't have any time to work on any ideas or any philosophy, as his only goal is to win the next game in 3 days.
Yeah.
And what happens often is they don't give trust to the young players, for example, and they play the more experienced players. They don't back up the ideas that they have because they know they don't have time to develop them. So the game is not growing. The young players are not growing because they don't play. And the overall consequences is that the game doesn't improve. What suffers is the beauty of the game. The new idea on the place the new ideas are not there anymore. national team suffer. It's an example of the Italian national team, despite we are on a very good year and hopefully we have a good national team for the future. But one of the reasons why we're not doing well lately is because no young players are playing anymore in first division. And part of the reason is this one, is that the coach doesn't have time, doesn't have trust, and often doesn't have the courage to develop any maybe good idea that he has, because he has no time. He doesn't know if he's going to be on the job in 2 weeks. He needs to win the game tomorrow. I don't. Maybe it's because I am. This is my job. I don't know, but I believe this is something that at highest level has to be changed. I would put a rule in place that when the coach is hired at the beginning of the season, cannot be fired until the season is over. Then every choice as a management become deeper. You're going to select the coach that you want, because you know that you cannot fire him until the end of the season. Probably will never happen. It works for the coaches as well, because in one season there are not 20 coaches working, but often are 33 or 34. But ultimately, I believe the game is the one that suffered the most.
Yeah, that's it probably won't ever happen, but I definitely see the logic behind that, and it would be kind of cool to see a little more job stability for top level coaches like that. Now, Coach Cam, we've seen a special someone on Sheffield United, David McGoldrick. It seems like he only ever scores against Chelsea. Scored twice against them last season. He never ever scores against anyone else. He did score against Man United this year, but do you think he scores again here?
That's a really tough question. I think that, yeah, I think he does. I think that a big portion of these players that are scoring against like clubs, the same team, whether it's over seasons or 2 times in both games, I think it just has to do with confidence. He knows he's scored on Chelsea before. He knows he's done it this season already once. So I think he's coming in saying like this Chelsea team, I'm able to break them down. I'm the one that's able to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's huge confidence. So I think he does, and I think that Chelsea are due conceding a goal. I honestly think they're due to some stupidity. I think that someone's going to join the stupid 11. My bet's going to be on Christensen if Thiago Silva is injured and is out. That's what my bet's going to be on, or Marcus Alonso. But yeah, I think that he would.
Did you ever have a team like that in your playing career that you were always confident of scoring against, Cam?
Probably. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's tough because when I was playing, there wasn't really one team we would play over and over again. Well, maybe in men's league, but that was not till later. Like we didn't really do men's league. We would travel a lot. Whether it was USA Cup or Winnipeg League, we did Northern League, we did Ontario Cup. So there wasn't like a team that we played over and over and over again. But I remember actually one of the best coaches that has ever coached me, Saverio Lento, when I was really young. We had a really good team with a lot of young talent that was growing and had the potential of going big places. He said that at the beginning of the game, you have to look over across the team. I would play on the wing. He said you have to look over the fullback and you have to say to yourself, I am better than him. So I guess with that logic, yeah, I feel like my confidence was always as high as it could be against most teams for that reason.
Never short on confidence, Cameron Pettick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. My team was Queens. Always loved playing against.
Yeah, that is true. You're right.
All right.
That's because you had a patch on this far sideline, just riling you up with some bad chirps.
Exactly. Yeah, love playing against Patrick. All right. Yeah. Why don't we move along? Leeds Crystal Palace. Leeds been playing good of late. Keegan, I know you're not a huge Alioski fan, but did you see the goal he almost scored? Or was the corner that went to him and he took it right out of the air outside of the 18, hit the post?
I didn't see it. I don't know why you don't think I'm a huge Alioski fan. He's on my team and that's what he does. the ball hits his left foot and it usually ends up in the back of the net in a miraculous way. So
I'm sorry. I thought you were the one who traded him away, but you were the one who acquired him in trade. My bad. So I know Leeds played Crystal Palace earlier in the season, and I was big on Leeds, and Palace absolutely rolled them over. I think it was 3-0 in the first half or something. Sandy, what do you think? Does Leeds get their revenge here, or is this a sneaky Crystal Palace away, big underdog game where they grind out a result?
Yeah, I could see it happening. Basically just because, we've talked about it ad nauseum. You just can't trust Leeds to do anything. You never know when these guys are going to win, when they're going to lose, when they're going to lose 6-0. Probably not 6-0, probably like 6-3, but you just don't really know what to get these guys. So on any given week, it's pretty much a coin flip, even against shitty teams.
Yeah, there you go. All righty, guys. I think that was a nice long banter session with some great insight from you guys. Why don't we rip through our bets pretty quick here?
just before the bets, I have a question for Gio. And this is just one of my many obsessions, the fact that that Bielsa doesn't speak English. Coach, obviously you moved from you were living in England for a bit, but you said you didn't quite speak the language. You moved to Canada. How hard was it to learn English, learn the different language, and why hasn't Bielsa learned how to speak English yet?
A fantastic question, Keegan.
Well, to me, it's fundamental. It's essential. Actually, I wouldn't imagine now to coach not be able to speak directly with the player. So for Bielsa will be even harder, I believe. For me, it was hard. I remember at the beginning. It was very challenging. The players, they wouldn't understand me, especially the kids. And you probably were one of them. And they will ask me the question. I would not understand the questions. The first month and a half was very hard, but they helped me to be in situations. So I had to learn right away. Sav and Tony gave me a big help. And then everything became easier for me, because to me, the communication and the day-to-day communication with the player is important. So I don't know if I would be able to work not speaking the language and with the help of a translator. I think the coach cannot express himself at best if he does not speak the language. Why Bielsa didn't learn? That's I don't know. I don't know if it could be at the age as well, being going everywhere in the country, so he had to learn the French. He was close to come to Italy as well, to Lazio, so probably had to learn the Italian as well in one period. And French and Italian, of course, are closer to Spanish, being Latin language. Than probably when he went to England, he probably didn't have the patience to learn, and probably he was not necessarily. But I believe he does speak with the team in a certain way. Probably he does not speak with media, but I believe he, in sort of way, he speaks with the team and certainly understand the players when they talk to him. That's just a guess.
Do you think it's possible that the reason all their games are super high scoring is because the defending's a little bit lost in translation?
I don't think so. I think that's part of his football style. The score were big even before he likes a certain way of football. I don't believe it's related with the language issue. I don't believe so. Then he has lots of assistants on the bench. They could, not to mention translator, of course, they could intervene, but I don't believe the reason of the high scoring is the lack of language. Otherwise, it was easy fixable.
Didn't Bielsa go to Lazio and he quit after 2 days or something because he didn't like it?
Well, I don't know that the Lazio president is a very particular person, is a particular character. Is known to be cheap, so probably something was I don't believe with the contract, because if he signed they agreed, but probably on the budget for bringing players in or something similar, probably they were not on the same page, and I don't believe he had a training session. It was during the summer, so it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But actually, then it worked well with Lazio, because then the Inzaghi, Pippo Inzaghi's brother, which is now the coach of Lazio, was the head coach of the reserve team, and then he took the job and did very well. He brought the team on a very good level, so ultimately worked well for Lazio, and for Bielsa too. He kept a good career going. So
all right, bet time, boys.
Yes, sir.
All right, Sandy plus 55 last week. Rip through these bets for us. Lead us off. You're on mute though.
All right, boys. Here we go. So I'm on Burnley this week. I was pretty pumped to see that line after. Well, I was excited to see what the line was going to be. I knew it would be good after the Brighton win this week, and I just like Burnley here a lot. I'm on Southampton to bounce back. West Ham, City, Liverpool under, and Chelsea and Sheffield not to score. Those are my 5. That's what I got.
These 5. Brother Keegs, are you in within earshot, Brother Keegs? I think he went to maybe grab his bets. So why don't we jump to Coach Cam? Coach Cam, what you got? Rip through these, buddy.
I will. So first one, I'm doing the over 8 corners. I have it in Arsenal, Villa, Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, United, and Crystal Palace Leeds, $5. I have $5 on a 3-team parlay with goal scorers. I have Callum Wilson, Ilkay Gundogan against Liverpool, and then I also have a debutant for Fulham, who is reports of him starting, Josh Maja. So I'm really excited to see him. I have
Until I die. Sorry.
Yeah, $5 on those 3. I have a 3-team parlay with Leicester, Leeds, and a draw between Burnley and Brighton. $5. I have a 2-team parlay with the over 2.5 goals in Leeds, Crystal Palace, and then Southampton to be Newcastle. I also like to bounce back. And then last but not least, I do want to make some moves. I want to make some ground on the pod. I'm putting $50 on Manchester City to beat Liverpool.
Wow.
Oh, I can't wait.
City.
So it is very gutty. I've placed it. I am a little nervous. Obviously, it's against Liverpool, but I really believe City are title contenders for the title. This game will solidify City's fate, and I also believe Liverpool's fate of not winning the title this season.
All right.
And that's why I'm putting $50 down. I'm going to be putting on my Sergio Aguero jersey on my back, volume on max, doors shut in my room. And that's going to be like I'm sitting in the stadium. I'm very excited.
Yeah, there'll be no fan noise.
My own. Except my own.
Yeah. All right. Title contenders for the title. There you go, Cam. Brother Keegs, you go get those bets or what?
Yeah, I realized my phone was on 1% and all my bets are on it, but yeah, let's get into it. Brighton plus money against Burnley, so we'll take that one. More often than not, the better team wins, even though anyone can beat anyone. So plus money, we'll take it. I kind of like Newcastle in this spot. A decent number, and Southampton are one of those teams that are, I mean, I don't know.
Lose 9-0 sometimes.
Yeah, but so I don't know. I just kind of like the Newcastle spot. I also like West Ham against Fulham at plus money. I think that's kind of a no-brainer, to be honest. I obviously mentioned before I'm going to take Leicester over Wolves, but I will try and cash it out depending on if I find out whether or not Vardy's playing in time. And we're going to go with Liverpool as well. Yeah, in a game like that, I feel like you just got to bet the number. So that's what we're going to do there.
Wow.
And we're going to take Crystal Palace against Leeds. I told you, very simple strategy betting against Leeds. Whenever you see a number above 4, regardless of which team it is, you got to go for it. If Leeds isn't a huge underdog against a big team, you got to take them. If Leeds is somehow a huge, not really somehow, but if Leeds finds himself as the big favorites, you got to take the other team. Even though I hate betting on Crystal Palace, but got to do it. And then a bit of a chalk parlay, Tottenham and United. We'll go with that. And we'll go over in West Ham Fulham and under in Tottenham West Brom. And I think probably under in Man City Liverpool, even though I didn't bet that, but now I'm wondering why we don't bet those kind of games under all the time. So yeah, I'll throw that one in there too.
Very nice. Brother Keegs with a full slate. He's confident. He's been in great form, rich vein of form. He's looking to keep it going. I guess I'll give my bets here now. I've got Aston Villa, Arsenal. I'm picking a draw based on the number. I think Arsenal, after a bit of a horror show defensively, shores it up in the back. I'm riding with Burnley again, Sandy. Let's get back on that bus. Burnley, $5 at home to Brighton. I'm going to go with a draw in the West Ham game. They've been impressive. I just like the number on the draw. I'm going with, and I'm going to hit one of these guys. I'm going with 0-0 Liverpool, Man City. Big games, disappoint us again. 0-0 is 15-1. I think that's worth a $5. And I'm going to bet draw in that game as well. So I don't got too much. I'm hoping there's some draws this week, but those are my bets. Coach, I've got a kid in my class, huge soccer fan, came over from Bergamo a couple years ago to Canada, and his dad is a big Atalanta fan, but he's a huge Inter fan. His name's Francesco. Is Francesco going to be celebrating the first league title in 10 years this May? Can you give us a little update on Italy?
Well, Francesco is the Inter fan or Atalanta's fan?
He's the Inter fan, and his dad is a Atalanta fan, and his mom's an
Atalanta fan. Okay. Well, I think that first of all, there is no better time for his dad to be Atalanta's fan, because Atalanta today is the best Atalanta ever. Hands down. They've never been in Champions League, and now they are for the second year, and they are the best and most entertaining team to watch on the Italian league, probably one of the best in Europe. Very particular style play, very modern, and very interesting. So there is no best time for his dad to be Atalanta's fan. I believe Francesco is going to celebrate. We are going to celebrate together. I believe this is the Inter year for a couple reasons. Inter is out of Champions League, very disappointing, but not so much unexpected. I am a little bit critical. I'm very critical, to be honest, because I am a old style fan, and I do not like the fact that we have too many Juventus blood people running our club. The general manager, the coach, and some of the most important players. But I am an Inter fan, and since Inter is not in Champions League anymore, most likely will be out of the Italian Cup. They lost the first leg a couple of days ago with Juventus of the semi-final. They have to prepare one game a week, and he's up there on the table. The team and the style of play of the team is typical for the Italian football. Not so successful in Europe, where you have to go out and play, but very concrete, very strategical on the Italian league, where the way that Inter is playing right now, I believe, is going to bring Inter to be in every game, and most likely to win almost every game. Juventus is on a transition year, decided to go with an interesting pick as a coach. He's just started. He's conceding goals way easier than they did on the last 10 years. It's not a solid team that used to be, but it's still the team with the best roster. But they are a little bit behind on the table. They concede too many goals. Milan is a young team despite Ibrahimovic. They've been playing an interesting football, but I don't believe they are solid enough to go all the way to the end. The rest of the teams, Napoli, I don't believe they're ready to challenge for the title. Atalanta probably will find a spot on the best four again. Roma, again, will find for the best four, but I don't believe it's going to fight for the title. So the title race is between Inter Milan and Juventus, old style fashion. But I see Inter for a few reasons to be the favorite, and I believe this year they're going to win. So Francesco, I believe, is going to celebrate, and I hope I'm right, because after 9 years that Juventus won, we have enough, and we would like to go back and celebrate again. But I believe Inter ultimately is going to be successful.
All right, and there we go. A little bit of a Italian league update for us on Banter Bets and BPL. Thank you, Coach, and thank you very much for coming on. That brings us to an end here on BBB. Yeah, great to hear your insight and great to talk to you again. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate having me here. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed to see you all. Let me know if you want to do it again sometimes. If I'm available, I will be happy to be on the call again.
Sounds great. Maybe when it's getting down to the nitty gritty in the Italian league and it's Inter and Juventus level on points with 2 weeks to go, we'll get you back on.
Why not? Why not? Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Coach Cam, thank you.
Anytime.
Sandy, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Have yourself a great night and a good weekend too.
Brother Keegs, thank you.
No need to thank me.
All right. Well, thank you. After you win us some more money. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Banter Bets and BPL. Stay safe and bet safer. Peace out.